Yesterday, we had an OTA and we assumed the meta would be brand new. And in a way, it is. A lot of the Mr. Fantastic First Step stuff has changed an awful lot. But what hasn't changed is End of Turn is still crazy strong. We also have the return of Merlin and a deck that might be cope or it might be busted. It's really early to tell, but you're going to want to get in on the ground floor to find out. We're kicking it off with the End of Turn deck from our friend Safety Blade. He had created this deck. It finished in the top 8 of the latest Golden Gauntlet tournament. It's a deck that a lot of people are hitting infinite with and a lot of people are climbing with. This is fundamentally the same deck we've talked about before with one real change. We ended up adding Electra. We also ended up running Surge, but he was running Surge off and on prior, so this ends up being a very powerful deck, a deck that does a lot to counter the meta, and a deck that even after the OTA is still incredibly strong. Yes, it has a little less power, but the meta with less Mr. Fantastic has a little less power. So unless your meta is entirely made up of ghost players, this one is still very strong. You can find Safety at twitch.tv/safetyblade. He's an Australian player, one of the top creators in Marvel Snap. He's also a writer for MarvelSnapZone.com, the home of the best written content in the game. This deck is going to need Athena, Invisible Woman for Steps, Surge, the Fantastic Car, and Thing. So basically, like Athena and Surge, which I assume most people have because they are these huge cards of the past, right? Like both spent time as the best card in Marvel Snap. And then you need 3 cards from the last season. If you're missing Hydra Bob, you can run Sunspot. Stardust is sort of the swing card here. I'm curious if Shadow King might work. I'm curious to try Mobius, or you can even see if Mr. Fantastic First Steps or Human Torch First Steps will work in that spot. All right, so a 67% win rate and a low sample size. It is right after the OTA as I record this. We will get you some larger sample size stuff soon as we can. Electra is here. People are running a lot of powerful 1-drops. People are experimenting with a lot of powerful 1-drops. Electra is just a nice card to have. Electra is also a very good card for sort of the middle of the game in that Thing First Steps lane because it takes out something cheap so that Thing can take out something much bigger, taking a lane from a likely win to an all but guaranteed one. Hydra Bob and Black Hat are keyword big and end of turn. Neither card really cares about Invisible Woman First Steps. Both are made better by Fantasticar. Havoc loses what amounts to 2 to 3 power toward the end of the game in this list. He's getting 1 less power for each buff, so he's getting 2 less power overall that way. If you play him with a doubled Invisible Woman, that'll be 4 less power. That's a lot. But if you're only getting 1 Invisible Woman trigger, he ends up at a whole 1 less power than he was. That's not meaningless, but it's also not bad. Please note Havoc is also now a 2-1. This is still showing the old stats. Sorry, we got to wait for the cache on Marvel Snap Zone to catch up. Theater remains exactly the same, one of the best power cards in the deck. Getting +6 at the end of the game is still huge for her, especially because she can start scaling early and is often strong-proof. Surge lets you play your cards extra. You want something that does that. It used to be fantastic, now it's Surge. Cosmo is an amazing protection card. If you are worried about Invisible Woman, Cosmo will stop you. There's also a lot of like Hella stuff floating around because of Agatha Redshift, and Cosmo's a nice card to have. Between Stardust and Cosmo, that is a really plus matchup for you. That's what Stardust is doing here. Stardust is also amazing against several of the other decks we're going to feature today. She's very slept on. I think the card that's my favorite that she stops is Fenris Wolf. Fenris Wolf is a nightmare to play against, and Stardust says, hey, don't stress it. Juggernaut is the cheapest lane winner in the game. Juggernaut, Invisible Woman First Steps, and Merlin, I think, are now the 3 best cards in Marvel Snap. Juggernaut has a real case at being the single best card. He's itching for a nerf. Invisible Woman is still one of the core cards of the deck. She only has 2 cards that we really care about buffing here, Havoc and Athena, although the Thing buff isn't necessarily bad either. We are not running Sunspot. Sunspot is the first card to just slot in if you're missing anything in this list. Fantasticar is almost always more power, unless you get both Havoc and Athena. Fantasticar is going to end up being more power than Invisible Woman most of the time. She's this... the car is the same buff on the Thing as Invisible Woman, right? The car is going to buff Bob and Black Cat, where Invisible Woman does nothing. It's one less power than Havoc gets on his own, 1 less power than Athena gets on her own. Fantastic. This is Invisible Woman for Steps deck, but it's now really a Fantasticar deck. The Thing is a lane winner. Your goal is to basically use the Thing to steal a lane and then use Juggernaut to steal another. Turn 1, we have Black Hat over Bob. Turn 2, Surge over Athena, but I'd still probably play Black Hat over either, especially if I have Fantasticar. Turn 3, we're looking at Invisible Woman for Steps over Athena +1. Turn 4, we're going with the car over Stardust, and I will happily play a 2/2 here, or even drop a Invisible Woman. Turn 5, I want to play Thing or some combo for earlier plays. And then turn 6, my goal is to play Juggernaut and Havoc together. That's 2 cards. It triggers Thena. I then trigger Fantastic Cards activate, Invisible Woman's activate, and I watch my numbers go brr. I think this deck is great. Honest to God, I think this deck is great. Everyone's going to act like this is dead because it's not as strong as it was. But a lot of how strong a deck is how strong the overall power level of the game is. And with the power level of the game coming down, this is still meta. We're giving away a Galactus First Steps this week. All you have to do is sub, like, and comment. I'll tell you what comment to leave later this video. If you're interested in getting a free Galactus, and he is in the best deck I played this season, check yesterday morning's video, then please sub, like, comment. We are also kicking off the Snap Judgments League. This is your last warning to sign up. Check out patreon.com/snapjudgments if you're interested in signing up. It only requires 1 game a week to win up to $500 in prizes, including free season passes. So please check out the Snap Judgments League, sponsored by the best tournament software out there, topdeck.gg. Next up, we got Fudge's Rip. Fudge immediately started playing after the OTA and absolutely crushed face with this list. This is a stellar list with a high 60% win rate, and still, again, what is a lower sample size, like 20 games, because it's right after the OTA, so like it's going to take a while before we have a sample size. However, Mr. Fantastic First Steps had fundamentally supplanted Merlin in a lot of these decks. With Mr. Fantastic now a sort of middling card, one of the best cards in all of Marvel Snap, one of the best cards, one of the priority cards to play right now is Merlin. Merlin is amazing. It was always amazing. It was just Surge is sort of like a really, really great backup to either Merlin or Mr. Fantastic, while Merlin and Mr. Fantastic are just generally speaking better, right? They're these extremely powerful cards. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip because I have a cold. So Merlin is this incredibly powerful card now, and right now he's the best 2-drop on 2 in the game, which fundamentally makes him, at least in my opinion, the best card in the game. Again, the other contenders are in their previous deck. Also, Juggernaut's in this deck. Juggernaut's in like every deck. All right, so this deck is really great. Ooh, we're supposed to be telling you where to find Elephant Fudge. You can find Fudge at twitch.tv/elephantfudge. This deck needs Cannibal and Mercury. How those two are not nerfed is entirely beyond me. Fenris, Gladiator, Merlin, and sorta Sam. Surge or Luna can be Jennifer Kale. Thing can be Galactus First Steps or Shang, but you can also replace Sam and Thing with Sasquatch and Mysterio because you have Merlin, and Merlin loves Sasquatch and Mysterio. All right, so Spider Ham gives you a nice cheap 1-drop that you can do Merlin-y things with, turn it into energy, use it to become a 2-drop, because once you've activated it, you don't need it. I'm so sorry. My throat is killing me. Mercury is a great way to mess with opponent's move, and obviously is a kill with Cannonball. That goes incredibly well with Fenris Wolf, who gets back whatever the strongest thing you destroy is. You also have Negasonic and Gladiator as Fenris Wolf triggers. The Thing for Steps can be a Fenris trigger if you do it on turn 5, but you usually want to save that for 6 anyway. The backup for triggering the Thing is Mercury and Sam Wilson. Both of those cards will do a great job at making sure your Thing lane is full. Sam also gives you a card to do Merlin stuff with. Surge makes your stuff cheaper. That would be a fantastic first step spot. You get the idea. It's just replaced by Surge. Surge is now a 2-1. I don't think it matters. It's still incredible. Fenris Wolf. Again, we have these cards that trigger it. It's one of the best cards in the game. If people aren't going to run Stardust to punish them. Merlin is amazing in this deck, right? You want extra energy. Merlin works with Luna to give you extra energy. You have these extra cards that do their thing and are sort of useless. You triggered Fenris already. Sam Shield has moved to where you want it to be. Spider-Ham, so on. You can use Merlin for that. Merlin is absolutely wildly good here. Juggernaut remains a game winner, a lane winner. Negasonic is damn near as good as Juggernaut. Probably top 10-ish right now, thanks to her synergy with Fenris. Luna gives you extra energy. Being able to go 3+2 on turn 4 is one of the strongest things to do in Marvel Snap right now. There's a lot of incredibly powerful 2-drops in this deck. Getting out of Mercury, getting out of Fenris, getting out of Sam, getting out an early Surge or a late Merlin. To be able to play that with Negasonic or Gladiator on turn 4 is crazy. Thing is a lane winner, same as before, and then Cannonball is another lane winner. So we have lane winners and control cards here. That's what the beauty of this deck is. It's so much power. Turn 1 Ham, turn 2 Merlin over Surge equals Sam over Fenris. Turn 3 Luna over Gladiator over a 2+1. Oh, sorry, excuse me. If you're playing Agatha against Agatha, you can move Fenris up the list. Turn 3, we're going Luna over Gladiator over 2+1 because we want to start doing Luna shenanigans. Turn 4, if we can do a 3+2 with Luna, we should, or a 2+2. Turn 5, Thing if Sam was out, so we can get that fill without extra commitment, or we can go 2/2. Then turn 6, Cannonball and Mercury, or Juggernaut and a 3-drop, Negasonic, Gladiator, pick your poison. This deck is disgustingly strong. I think that this is probably where the meta goes. This is the home of good stuff right now. This is what good stuff looks like. It's changed from Mr. Fantastic, and now it's this new incredible list. All right, let's keep ourselves going. If you are not minding that I'm doing this with the sore throat, we never miss videos here on this channel. Please hit that sub, like, and comment. It would mean an awful lot if you threw that support to us. In addition, we'll be streaming about 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. We're going to be streaming the podcast. I know No Luck's Given is on. I'm not sure who else is yet, but if you want to come stop by, twitch.tv/PulseGlacier. All right. Our season pass question is, I considered today, because it's late, I had a long day, I'm in Vietnam now, life is very different, doing a short video of 2 decks that would be about 10 minutes, and then doing a second short video of 2 decks that would be about 10 minutes. Instead of just doing one big old video, doing either 1 or 2 shorter deck videos for 8 to 10 minutes each. How do you feel about that? Would you be willing to watch twice a day? Like, give me some actual thoughts. I really love that feedback if you're willing. Nope. Sorry, Frankie's not in this deck. I just left that there from yesterday. Please excuse. Jet says, this may be cope, but I think this may be really good. White Tiger got a buff. Her Tigers are now 9 power. The entire meta is different. People are playing all sorts of weird jank stuff, and you just have access to incredibly, incredibly powerful game plans with this deck. This is, although it doesn't look like it, it looks like a Phoenix Force deck, this is an on-reveal deck. What you're trying to do is get multiple on-reveals of Cassandra Nova, Sage, and White Tiger. Getting multiple on-reveals of those, thanks to Firehair, Elixir, and Phoenix Force, is super strong. You can find Jet at twitch.tv/Jet13. If you're curious, there are 5 E's in that name. This deck needs Sage, Cassandra, Elixir, Phoenix Force, Misery, Firehair, and Ravonna. It's expensive. You need Ravonna specifically because of the White Tiger, by the way. Surge can be Zabu, however, and Kid Omega can be Carnage. All right, so Kid Omega is here because when you play a Cassandra, being able to immediately destroy it, especially if you went, if you got Firehair out through whatever means, is incredibly strong. That's fundamentally the use here. Being able to keep the power of a thing you destroy is the power of Kid Omega and Venom. That's a really strong place to be because you can destroy base stuff multiple times. Kid Omega for 1 from Ravonna is broken. Cassandra and Sage, when you can play both on 4, is also broken. You also need Ravonna for White Tiger on 4. From there, we're going to go to Surge, who gives us a similar discount. Again, this was from Mr. Fantastic First Step spot. It's become Surge's spot. Surge is in some ways better because Surge with Misery is kind of insane. Elixir and Phoenix Force are your way to bring your cards back. A doubled to tripled Cassandra Nova, a doubled to triple Sage, a bunch of extra White Tigers. Firehair is one of your your on-reveal repeaters, along with Peef and Misery. Cassandra gets big, Sage gets big. Sage can also just be an end-of-game play, particularly with Juggernaut, who's just in every deck right now. We know what Venom is, destroys and keeps your power. Misery destroys and gets an on-reveal. Phoenix Force revives and gets an on-reveal. And White Tiger places 9 power multiple times all over the board. So Jet says he's unsure if this is cope, but it feels real good. It was able to beat a 2099 deck that went off. It's got a lot of power to it. Turn 1 we pass. Turn 2 Ravonna over Kid Omega over Firehair. Turn 3 Cassora 2. If we can turn 4 White Tiger, we should probably snap over Sage +2 over Misery or 2/2. Turn 5 we can destroy Tiger, Cass, Sage. 2 of them is the goal. Turn 6 Phoenix Force and Elixir, or Elixir and Juggernaut, or Sage and Juggernaut, as the case may be. Deck is really good. Props to Jet for, as always, cooking immediately when we get a new on-reveal card. If my time schedule isn't working, please check out the stream team if you're willing. Later today, we will have the Pirate King Tucker streaming about after the podcast ends, so make sure you check that out if you want to see these decks in action. Finally, check out patreon.com/snapjudgments if you want to support the channel. Certain tier support come with on-air thanks. Thank you to Jonesy Snap 22, Abigail Geeson, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Neverette, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood Snap, Ren Wrench, Gopher Kev, Keltor, Kertix Lee, Koirei Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Perofros, Gootsie, Code, Hallowed, Synth, Fartnick. I can't do it with the right voice, my throat hurts. Absolute Shannon, Dirty Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Kate Bowles, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Demons 23, XRSV, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Mista, Slushjet, The King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, KFC Hoda, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, David Wingfield, Steven, Brian Hoffman, Jason Martin, Jason B, Matt V, Corbin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh. Yestout, 8th Stage, One Baby, Cactus Jack, Reitzer, Steve-O, Yo Marco, Ted Pro, Good Pro Joe. Please check out the Snap Decision podcast, Bickety Boom Bot, Bricks to Click, Green Goblin, Cunabot V2, Flan 56. Excuse me. Almost made it through this whole video without coughing on all of you. Spectrumix, Hoot, Only Fox, Matt H, TJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Toxie, Toxic Soul King, Zadric74, the King of Canada, JJ, Deadman Falcon, Falthor Newman, Two Ties, the Great Lord Devs, the Pirate King Tucker, and of course Gunny T. The T stands for It's Hot, I'm Tired, but I appreciate all of you. Hopefully you enjoy the video. I'll see you tomorrow for some more Snap, Take, and the podcast. Peace.